Hello there. Welcome to Sci-Fi Saturday. I'm Scotty, you're not, and I'm walking into this review because I've had Chappie on my voodoo for years. My friend Eric, I've talked about him. You know, the guy lives in Florida. Little cute cat. Anyway, he got me the voodoo code, the digital code for Chappie, and I had it on there. He said, "You should watch, bro. You should watch it, bro." I can see why he would like this. These two main human characters are very much like a couple characters in a movie that was directed by Oliver Stone and came out in the '90s, starring Woody Harrelson and what's her face from Christmas Vacation, the older Audrey. You know what I'm talking about. Juliette Lewis, that's right. They're very much those kind of characters. They're chaotic, they want to cause problems. They're robbing people, they're killing people. Well, it's mostly him in this, but I could see how Eric would like that kind of movie. Me, on the other hand, while I like Natural Born Killers, which is the movie I was talking about, it's not one I would watch all the time. This, I wouldn't watch all the time for a different reason. And let me sit down and tell you why. Alright, so this movie is a combination of like I said, like a Natural Born Killers meets Number Johnny 5 from Short Circuit. In a way, Dev Patel, he's trying to create, this is a shock of all shocks, dystopian future where robot police are used. And Dev Patel has created this sentient robot, and this one it has the maturity of a child, basically, because it is found by these two gang members played by the band Die Antwoord. I don't know how to pronounce it, but Ninja and whatever her name is, I'll just call her Blonde Lady. Ninja and Blonde Lady. And no, it's not the YouTuber Ninja either. I thought it was, but no, it's not. There's a South African rapper named Ninja, and they have a song at the end of the movie. It sucks, but it's at the end of the movie. I was like, what the hell is this? This has got to be them, right? Because it starts with, "I'm a ninja and a blah, 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 blah." I'm like, no thank you, not for me. They're playing themselves, but they're not playing themselves because they're playing fictional versions of themselves who aren't a band. They're thugs living on the street. And they're also with that Mexican guy who was the dick cop to Shia LaBeouf in Disturbia. And they're our main protagonists. Yeah, that's right. They're the protagonists. They're the one that steal Chappie from the big government people and mess with his head, and he becomes childlike. And then Ninja uses him to commit crimes by lying to him and saying, "No, Chappie doesn't use guns. Chappie doesn't want to use guns, even though he's a police robot." So he gives him a knife and he says, "This will help him go to sleep." And then later in the film, the knife and a ninja throwing star. So he uses the throwing star and realizes he's being lied to, but never leaves them. He keeps going back to them. He keeps calling them mommy and daddy. And while I can, Yolandi, that's her name, I can sympathize with her because she doesn't really want to keep doing this to the robot, Ninja keeps lying to him at every moment's notice. And I was waiting for this motherfucker to get killed somehow. And he's the one that survives. He's the only one of that gang that survives. Why? Why the most unlikable character of all three of those motherfuckers has to be the one that survives? Right? Also, I was watching through this and I'm like, hey, he finally did one without Charlton Copley, only to then find out that Charlton Copley is Chappie. I was wrong. Yeah? I was like, Charlton Copley's not in this, and I was looking at the cast, and right at the top it says Charlton Copley as Chappie. Fuck. Also, for all the covers and pictures I've seen with Hugh Jackman on it, he's not the main focus of this movie. He's sort of the antagonist. This movie sets up this big business as sort of the villains and the establishment, and we're supposed to side with these thugs because they live on the streets and they're the poor people, and we gotta side with them, even though they're the worst people in the world, but okay. And at first, you see Sigourney Weaver as this stuffy office lady, and I'm like, really? Another villain that's just a stuffy office person? But she really does jack shit in this movie, because she's barely in this. Hugh Jackman is, for all intents and purposes, our villain. And all he wants, it's basically ripping off RoboCop. He's got this Ed 309, whatever the hell it's called, looking motherfucker robot that he wants to use and thinks they will be the future. Well, they want to use these other robots. And by the end, he gets to use this thing, he doesn't do shit, and then Chappie beats the shit out of him. And we don't know if he is alive or not. It's left up to the imagination. You know. Yeah. Hugh Jackman doesn't do shit either. He does more than Sigourney Weaver, but he just basically keeps complaining with this really terrible hairdo that they put him in. I mean, the hair pieces they put him in the X-Men movie weren't good, but it's better than this thing. You got like a little, you got like, it's like flat on the top, and then it's like a little curly thing. They got AC Slater's hair, but worse. I don't know what it was trying to be, but it's not cool. I was disappointed when I realized that Hugh Jackman was going to be the villain, and not. I mean, think about it. What if you had some? What if you had some business guy playing? Hugh Jackman is playing Ninja's character, or playing a character of some sort. I don't know. That's not this villain. I was disappointed. I'm like, I thought he was gonna be the one that helps, plays Vincent, that helps fix Chappie and make it. No. He could have been the creator, but no, you have Dev Patel, who is good in the movie. He's the only character, besides really Yolandi, that you don't hate, the only human character. And you can't even really side with Chappie either, because I understand he's got the mental maturity of a child, but he keeps falling for everything that Ninja tells him. Everything. They get a knife or a ninja star will just make them go to sleep. Like, he throws the ninja stars at this dog that they're robbing. He's like, you can go to sleep now. You can go to sleep. And then when he pulls out the ninja star, he realizes that it cut him. He's like, oh, you lied to me. But he doesn't leave. He stays with Ninja because it's family, I guess. And like I said, it all just. So Dev Patel's character is hurt. And so early on in the film, he realizes he could take consciousness of people and put them into robots. So he puts them into a prototype robot. And then his whole thing is about trying to find a new body for himself because it's dying. And, Ninja lies to him that they're getting the monies. But he's doing it to pay off the gangs. And what the fuck is up with gangs movies? They're like, oh, you gotta pay us back. And when they finally get the money, it's like, oh no, you gotta pay us double. Because here, this rival gang shows up and is like, hey, we want our money, and we don't want just that 20 million either. We want 3 times that. I'm like, well, what? It's just a cosmo conflict, I guess, but it doesn't really. And this rival gang, also, you're supposed to hate them, you're supposed to side with Ninja and them, but you just, I don't care. Either, they just kill each other to death. Who cares? And that is really where Dev Patel's character gets mortally wounded, and he gets cut, just put in this little orange bot while these business people are trying to break in. And Chappie downloads his body to another robot, and then Dev Patel in a robot now, Dion, in a robot now, or creator, as he calls him, maker, gets out, and it just so happened to download to a robot that's right outside the building, and they run off together. And then you get like this whole epilogue where they say that the robot, they are getting rid of all the robots and they're bringing humans back. Apparently they had them in storage or some shit. By the way, that's iRobot. Wasn't it? Or did they bring in, they got rid of the new robots and brought in the old ones, right? At the end of that, it's sort of like iRobot. But yeah, they're bringing the humans in now. And they said all robots are illegal, which means that Chappie is not illegal, so he's out there somewhere. And so like I said, Yolandi, she gets mortally wounded and she dies. And Ninja's throwing a bunch of her shit into a bonfire that he's just standing over. What if he slipped and fell in? I wouldn't care, but what if he did? And he finds a little USB port, and apparently Chappie had put her consciousness into it. And that's how really the movie ends. They put it into a new consciousness. Yeah. And it kind of ends on a cliffhanger with showing that Yolandi's consciousness was thrown into a new robot. Because Blomkamp envisioned this as a trilogy, but this movie did not do as well as they thought, so there's not going to be any further ones. While I did not particularly care for this movie, I wouldn't have minded if they did a sequel, because you could improve on it. Maybe make Ninja a better character. Or kill him off in the first 5 minutes. I don't care. I really don't care. If it starts off with them robbing something and he gets shot to death, I wouldn't care. Or, it's been long enough. It's been 11 years. Or not 11 years. It's been quite a few years. Say he died in between movies in a gang war. And now it's Chappie and the other robot running, and the robot Yolandi, on the run. I'd watch that. It'd be more tolerable. I'm going to give it a low middle of the road. It's a low middle of the road. I don't know. Also, this movie was 2 hours. And I felt like you could cut here and here and here and here. Short things. There's just, a lot of it is following these gang members with cutting back to Hugh Jackman getting mad and trying to find it. And Sigourney Weaver saying, we need to find that robot. And Dev Patel worried, recording himself in the camera and stuff. And it's just like, okay, but it's very slow going. Slow going, but it's a low middle of the road for me. It is probably the worst of these three for me. But we have reached the end of our Neil Blomkamp trilogy coverage. Apparently, at one point, he was going to do an Alien movie. I guess that's off the table because Fede Alvarez is doing his Alien Romulus. The more I say it, the more it sounds not like the word is supposed to. Romulus? That was like Star Trek. Genesis? But, yeah. Up next, we've been taking a look at our next two reviews, which will start the next month, actually, will be Bruce Willis movies. And not in chronological order, too, because the first one we're going to look at is Looper, and the one after that is 12 Monkeys. So, look out for those, next week and week after that, I guess. So, what are your thoughts on Chappie? Why am I? Let me know in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.